Alright, the next exercism problem is log levels in C++. The instructions indicate that we will be given a string that's formatted as follows. There will be a log level and then the log message. And it's going to be formatted with a colon and a white space that separates the level and the message. Now if we preview the task before we code, from our understanding of namespaces, we can deduce that we have to create 1, 2, and 3 functions. And they are within our logline namespace. So let's start the first one. If you look here, you notice that the message function has one parameter, and it is a string argument. And we have to return a string. From the string, we have to return the message portion. So let's begin building our function. We have to put the parameter. Now I will call the argument line. Now we have to return the message portion. So I'm going to use two built-in C++ methods for the string functions, and they are called substring and find. So they are both going to reference our argument line. We're going to build a substring from it, and we're going to build it using the find method. We're going to find the colon, and we're going to begin the string 2 spaces after, because if we count 1, 2, that's where the first letter begins. So from there, plus 2, and that will give us our substring from this full string. For task 2, we have to do essentially the same thing. Instead of retrieving the message portion, we have to retrieve the level portion. So it's going to look very similar. We got to build a string function, and this one is called log level. And it also has one parameter, which is a string argument. I will call it line because it's the same format. However, this time, if you notice, we only need the text within the brackets. So I'm going to find the brackets, and I'm going to use that as where to return our substring from. So we're going to do line.substring, and again we're going to find, and we're going to do the first bracket plus 1 space after, and then again line.find, and we're going to find the closing, and you see they're connected. This is where it begins, comma, ends. Begins 1 space after here, so it's going to end 1 space before this. Now for the third task, we have to reformat. And given the string, we have to reverse the message and the log level. But not only reverse it, it's not going to return a colon, and the brackets are going to turn into parentheses. So let's build a string function called reformat, because it's called reformat here. And it uses the same string argument, the same string format, so it will be called line. We're going to return the message and the log level in reverse. So I'm just going to use the same functions. So the first one is message of our argument, and we're going to concatenate it, aka we're going to add the string with the log level. But first, I want to show how I'm going to use the parentheses. So I'm going to concatenate with actual strings of the parentheses. So now here I'm going to use the log level function of the line, and the log level So info in this case will be returned within these parentheses. Don't forget the white space because that's needed for here. Close that. And then that completes all tasks. So let's run the tests. And it passes.